and you're juggling lots of different things, and you're trying to absorb and read and study and be prepared for a vote, and vote hopefully correctly.
Right.
So it requires a lot of time, and if only I had a driver where I could actually read safely in the car.
That's something you may want to think about.
Well,
so that was probably a good Christmas present to ask for.
Well, I don't know who I'd go, what Santa I'd talk to about that one. But anyway,
just rush Luke and Hollings along to get 16. So
no, gosh, no. Let's keep that sand of that hourglass.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
That's
right. That's right. Maybe just how could we make that happen? That's a good wish for 08. Yeah, that's a good wish for 08. You know, there's so much that has to happen up there, and you highlight a typical day for you, Luke. Obviously, you highlighted sometimes you'll come back on a Tuesday, but you're surely up there on Wednesday nights. What's let's say a typical Wednesday, and next week is the first full week, so it'll be you'll be heading up on Tuesday.
We'll have a very busy Tuesday when we select committees again.
Right.
It's a new session. It's a 2-year session, but you come in, you'll select your seat, you'll select your committees based on seniority, and spend a lot of time in kind of a housekeeping type mode.
Right.
Committees really won't start until the following week or 2 weeks beyond. But a typical day is you get up there at either 11, you'll have a caucus meeting before.
When you say caucus,
the Republican caucus, they meet before the Senate, kind of lay out for the week what the game plan is and things that we want to try to accomplish or move along, and we vet things throughout that process. Likewise, the Democrats, they meet, they have their caucus, but you'll come to the floor around noon, and then you'll meet for a while. Then Judiciary will start at 2, and then you'll maybe go 2 hours with that. Then there'll be some type of a reception, some good to see you, how you doing, how's your mama kind of thing.
Right.
And there are lots of those, and it's always good to see them and to find out that their mama's doing good. But after a while, those run kind of quickly, and there's lots of those that you can go to. The next morning there'll be some type of a early morning breakfast reception. Then education typically meets on Wednesday mornings. And you'll go through the morning until you meet in session at 2, and the day continues. And you do it another day.
Right. Probably a lot of school trips coming over to see what... Do folks travel from all over the state? Is it principally there in the Midlands?
No, they come from all over. And you hit a highlight of mine, and that's any school from my area. I love for them to come because it is such a cool thing.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's a great place. The State House is your house. It's everyone's house. But the kids' eyes, when they see the beautiful design in there, and it was refurbished about 3 years or 4 years ago.
Is that right? Good.
It is so impressive, and I urge anybody who has opportunity to come up there and walk around and look.
Good. But of course, they talk to their teachers or otherwise, but even normal citizenry, you want everyone to come up.
Y'all come here is what I tell people. But it is a beautiful place. But the kids particularly light up when they get the little history film that they see, and they get to see where the Union's cannon fire hit the outside of the State House, and they've got the stars that show the cannonball impact areas where the stone might be chipped. It's really a neat place. And kids love it, and I really
Hollings and Luke have been up there quite a few times, I'm sure.
Yeah, Luke has been. Hollings will come hopefully this year for her first time with the group. Now, I've taken them. They've done kind of like me and Conway, gone places where they shouldn't have gone. But
we won't touch that on camera.
We have permission.
Early Friday morning, of course. I'm kidding. Yeah, you know, we think about, obviously, there's so many things to highlight on service on those different committees. When you think for yourself, you highlighted surely Judiciary, very time-consuming, Education, very time-consuming. Is there anything that you've really gotten into? I know you talked about RIDE and the Infrastructure Bank early on. I think I saw you gotten active in helping, was it the Santee Cooper Board? There was some piece there.
A big piece there, and that was when there was an effort from some in Columbia. Unfortunately, the governor had an agenda to privatize Santee Cooper, which was totally the wrong idea. And
you told him that.
Well, I told him that, and we demonstrated it with public hearings, and there was a fruit basket turnover of the board. Ultimately, with the plan to have the votes to sell Santee Cooper. And we had public hearings. We found confidential emails to the investment community in New York asking how to privatized. And so that gave me a springboard with the Judiciary Committee to ultimately now chair a committee that screens the would-be applicants that the governor offers for service on the Santee Cooper board. And the Senate and the House, I mean, they were overwhelmingly in support of what we did against the effort to sell and to turn over the board. And the largest veto override in the history, I think, at that point, there were 2 or 3 votes to sustain the governor's veto of our bill. But there were 170, there were 167 who voted to keep Santee Cooper as it is.
Right.
But that's just another example. Insurance,
Sure.
Coastal property insurance.
Oh, yeah, Luke.
We've
share with viewers the significance of some of the recent impact of that. Sure.
And again, a little bit more stuff going on that shouldn't have been going on, a little bit of politicking that should have been handled a little bit differently. It was more in a business fashion. But we had hearings down here. Lots and lots of your viewers showed up protesting what was going on. We had the then appointed insurance commissioner and director, Eleanor Kitzman, testify to us that she had a plan and that plan needed to be adopted, and she had the support of what's called the WIN Pool, the South Carolina Guarantee Association.
Right.
Well, that plan got kind of like the line of a funny thing happened on the way to the forum. Nothing happened from August until she was removed without any explanation in February, and then finally, last session, we were able to get legislation passed that didn't see that authority just in the governor or his appointee, but put the legislature in, and we've stabilized the rates, and we're hoping that we'll have even more reduction in the property and casualty premiums that our coastal property owners are paying.
Well, this impacts really all citizenry here in Horry and Georgetown, and of course even in adjacent states. I mean, you think about the impact in Brunswick and other areas, but in Horry and Georgetown, it was a day we were filming with Ray Cleary down in Murrells Inlet, and I had just gotten a notice that my insurance had been canceled in Murrells Inlet. I thought, my Lord, what about it? And of course he highlighted some fascinating issues that day. Dick Elliott was with us a couple months ago and highlighting the impact. And of course for you here in Myrtle, you're right between those two.
Right.
The impact is wide for everyone. That's when Democrats and Republicans clearly get together to take on, much like the Santee Cooper issue, that folks work together for the right.
And we did. In fact, we passed a pretty major bill this past session last year that puts us in great stead. And we were told, experts at that time, that that was what we needed to do, but we are looking at more areas. For example, if someone builds a more weather-resistant home, they should get a premium discount. Florida allows that. If you build a smart house, it used to be energy efficiency. Santee Cooper uses that smart house concept, I believe.
Sure.
From an insurance standpoint, on the structural integrity of a home, you ought to get credit if you do things above and beyond just a local building code that would minimize or totally reduce any payout that insurance carrier would have to make in the event of a calamity. So there are lots of things we're looking at to kind of improve this situation.
Right.
Hopefully that'll pass as well.
Luke, time is flying. We've just got a couple of minutes. Just trying to think through that aspect for you as you look into 2008. If you had a Nostradamus, if you had a crystal ball there, anything that folks need to be thinking about a lot, any you want people to call on you, obviously, about any particular issues that you know are impacting everyone in your district and throughout this area.
Well, and certainly call. I'm accessible. Try to be as accessible as I can. And if you call me, if you hadn't gotten a call back soon, that's a problem for me. So if folks call and say they didn't get a call back, I don't have a number to call you back.
That 803 number up in Columbia is the best number to call?
212-6132.
212-6132.
My law office is 248-2405.
That's excellent. Good for you giving us your law office number. A lot of folks, 248-2405 or 803-212-6132. Great, great.
I think the key here and the hope is that we continue as a county delegation to advance our cause. And our cause is not just the local needs, but again, the #1 tourism destination, the #1 cash generator. We as a team, our delegation, have got to continue pushing our agenda, which is not always embraced by some folks in the upstate or other parts. But more and more, the relationships that we've built have put us in a position to deliver. And I hope that we will have had a good year the next time I come back. Hopefully it won't be the end of '08, but hopefully we will have good things to report, and folks' lives will be improved in the sense of, again, a business standpoint, a taxing standpoint, quality of life, education, etc.
And the delegation works well together. Obviously, Billy talked about NISA, which is a little more than just Horry, I mean, the 9-county delegation, but the Horry County's working well together.
We've got a good relationship.
Right.
There are no peacocks in our group. We all have to get a little out there on various things, but I think we recognize that each of us have a unique attribute. Not necessarily mine would be Billy's. I don't serve on agriculture. But he's perfectly fitted for that, being a Clemson extension agent for so long. But we all complement each other, I think, and that's, I believe, why we've had the success that we've had thus far.
The biggest driver for you, Luke, what keeps you going and wanting to stay up there and continue to represent us?
It's a strange thing. Either it's a warped sense of ego that I like to be sitting here being interviewed in a healthy way or an unhealthy way, or it is a genuine sense of getting, as my preacher said, Luke, you get a buzz from this, and it's making a difference. It's having an impact, hopefully making good things happen, or keeping bad things from happening. Because you play just as much offense as you do defense.
You know it as a daddy when you're moving that cup away from
right.
the elbow. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
God bless you. Thank you, too.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Senator Luke Rankin of District 33 coming up next. Try to pull a little scintilla out of every great interview, and of course this is a great one, the 2015-10, celebrating 20 years of having practiced the law, 15 full years in the state Senate, going into his 16th year next week. And of course, 2 weeks from today, he'll be celebrating 10 years as a dad. A real celebration there of his first child, his second one not long after that, Hollings. A big 15, 10, and 20-year celebration there. Of course, 248-2405. How many folks give their number and say, give me a call? I want to hear from you. You heard it, 248-2405. Luke Rankin.